Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Odious Soul and our Hump Day Hangouts. I can't believe we've been doing this for like months now. It's kind of crazy. But I am Shannon. I am the Odious Soul everywhere and your mother. Amanda, looking all down there, kind of look like a potato tonight with your blanket. Okay, so Amanda, tell everybody where they can find you out on social media.
You can find me at Stay Fast and Weird on Instagram and TikTok, but never on Facebook.
Which basically means if you go stalk her on Facebook, just don't let her know about it. Mike, where can people find you out in the interweb world of technology?
Instagram and TikTok at Twisty Rider.
All right. Well, guys, tonight we have an interesting show. So Mike brought up hey, we should do a show on all the motorcycle movies and cool car movies.
I think this was Amanda's idea.
Amanda's idea? Was this Amanda's idea?
No, I don't watch movies.
But I'm pretty sure you brought it up because we were talking about them.
Well, one of us had the idea of doing it. Okay. So just for history, I know when I first met Mike, last year, I feel like we bonded over the fact that I not only know who, but I love Richard Hammond, Jeremy, I love the Top Gear guys, I love them. And we started watching it. And so he's like, oh, she likes stuff like this. So let me force her to watch all these motorcycle and car movies. And
I will shove them down your throat.
Yes. But I will tell you, as a noob in the motorcycle world, a lot of those movies were incredibly helpful and insightful just because I have not been here. I have not been in this world, and I wanted to embrace myself with as much knowledge and history as I possibly could. So we're going to do a list of Mike's top movies for all Motorheads. So we're covering car movies, we're covering motorcycle movies, whatever he has on the list. And then, of course, Amanda and myself are going to have opinions maybe about ones he missed or just about ones that he put on the top list. Because, I mean, come on, we're a little opinionated.
Well, I will say on my Hollywood movies, I only have 3.
Oh,
there's a whole lot of documentaries.
So. I mean, I have a few. So
listen. I don't even like movies and I have more than 3.
All right. So, but before we do that, I do want to give a shout out to some of the people in the room. Let's go for a walk. Thank you for joining us again. If your woman is there, if your wife's there, tell her I said hi. I don't think I'm making it to Vegas, but I would miss you guys. Although I think you said you weren't going this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Adam, hey, thank you for joining from the UK. Just climbed into bed. Oh, you're going to bed with us. That's kind of kinky, right?
We're the best. We're the best to go to bed with.
Yeah. Yeah. I know my friend Jill, who is in the room. Happy New Year to Jill. She used to watch my videos to fall asleep to, my Forrest Fenn videos back in the day. So apparently I have a soothing voice when I choose to have one. Kiwis Road, thanks again for hopping back. Thank you for joining us. And Mike N, nice to have you in the chat room tonight. Feel free. And Tyler V. Hey, Tyler.
Did you see what Tyler said? Tyler's not wrong.
Amanda will be sure to let us know. She hasn't seen any of the movies Mike recommends.
I'm going to say probably about 90% easy.
I doubt it. If they're documentaries, I've probably seen them all. If they're Hollywood movies, probably not.
All right. Well, we will find that out. But before we talk about that, it's a tradition here. We always talk about what we're drinking, just because if we're drinking alcohol, it's a great excuse for the next day when we regret what we say. But tonight I am not drinking. I may have gotten a little intoxicated Friday night. I didn't even drink New Year's Eve. So because I was so hungover from Friday night. So it was, we had a great time, but I decided no alcohol tonight because I'm saving it up for this weekend because we are going to a friend's wedding and it's going to be an open bar and I don't want to smell alcohol when I go. So I'm drinking seltzer. All right. My Polar seltzer bottles. That's what I'm drinking tonight. I'm being lame, being sober. Yes. I'm still going to kick ass. What are you guys drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking. Me and Matt went to Wawa earlier and I got a gingerbread cream milkshake. He's like, why are you getting a milkshake? I'm like, I don't know. He's like dumbfounded that I drink dairy all the time because I drink chocolate milk before bed. I eat cereal all day, every day, and I wanted a milkshake. He's like, how do you drink so much dairy? I don't know. So I got a giant one just because.
Awesome. Mike, what do you got?
I got my normal blue cup, but it is lemon iced tea because I drank all of the gin Friday night and I don't want to drink again for a little bit.
Look at
Which
all
will
of
probably
us behaving ourselves tonight. So
I
that means
behave
this is either,
myself every night.
well, this means it's either going to be a really great show because we're all sober and can do it, or it's going to be a really crappy, boring show. But I guess we'll find out. So before we let Mike talk about the movies, I do got to put, this is, okay, I'm going to say it wrong. Dakar Rally Week. Okay. So tomorrow starts stage 5. So
Wait, go on, but remind me to say something after you're done. That's incredibly important.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, it's going on right now. You can catch the highlights. You can watch it. It's available on YouTube. Where else have I watched it? I don't even know. But I know I've been trying to catch as much highlights as I possibly can of it. So it's an exciting race too, because not only do you have the rally cars, you have the bikes. It's just, and it's
the
like,
support trucks, which are like massive and
oh my
do
gosh,
everything that the cars do and the bikes do, but they're big, huge, giant trucks. It's
and when
crazy.
things break down and like the drivers are out there trying to fix it, it's just insane. Like they're in the middle of nowhere. Saw a couple cool bike crashes in the highlight reel today. So not that that's, everybody's safe and alive, walked away that I got to see. And then like with the rally cars, like there was like a flash flood and a couple cars got caught. So but I do, Tyler, I really love Schmammered. That is hilarious. Shannon is Schmammered.
I read it as Shammerhead.
I did too.
Well, like I from Vegas last year, I think it was Vegas or maybe it was in Yellowstone. Somebody was like, you give shenanigans a whole new word, a whole new meaning. So like shenanigans, schmammered, we're just gonna start a whole like yeah, Shannon. We're just gonna start a whole new thing. But okay.
Oh wait, don't let me forget. No, I'm not gonna forget.
Yeah, go ahead.
Important.
Super important.
Worst fucking 2023 ever is we started off losing Ken Block. If you guys know who he is, he pretty much runs the Hoonigans shit. Big deal time, like rally racer, his iconic Mustang kind of thing. If you've ever seen his daughters ride, I think she has an Audi. Am I wrong about that, Mike? Yeah, dude, the guy, like a guy, one of the, I can't think of the word I want to say, but one of those big deal people in the freaking community. Dirt bike dude too, like anything motorsports, he's about it. It's a shame that he is now no longer.
And it was rumored that he was a Stig as well for Top Gear.
Oh, right on.
Because there's lots of reasons, but I'm pretty sure he was. But yeah, it was rumored that he was.
Yeah, and I mean, not only that, like, of course, that's a huge deal, but there's also like another like big time drag racer who went out.
He was just like a cool dude, a great dad. Like everybody that everyone that loved him everyone that knew him seemed to have loved him. So yeah, that sucks. He was super.
I mean, he was an icon. He was a total icon.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's a pillar in the community. That's what I was trying to think of earlier, but for sure.
All right. Well, yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I don't even know how I forgot. I mean, it's like all over my timelines everywhere. And yeah.
I mean, that's like one of the biggest terms like any like hooligan-esque person uses. Like, and I'm always the one who'll say, oh, I'm hooning around on like the little bike, or I'm hooning around in the car. Like, it's like, where else does it come from? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's just the thing. It's just a thing. I don't know. It just made me sad. And everybody else.
Well, it's a great reminder that life is short. So make sure you're living life every single day. Don't waste a moment. Don't let it get away from you. And
like him and live your life like you're going to die the next day. Just fucking do it.
Yeah. And you know what? If you, I think I said this to Mike when he told me about it. I was like, I would rather die doing something that I love than in a hospital bed. And if you got to go out, I mean, I hate to say it, but that way he went out was he was doing something that he loved to do.
One of my most favorite quotes about ride, and it's not even about riding, it's actually Ken Miles, if you know who that is. And if you know, kudos to you guys. But Ken Miles,
I'm bringing up with him.
So Ken Miles would always say, I'd rather die at speed as opposed to being eaten up by cancer. And I've always I just believe that I'd rather die at speed than being eaten up by cancer, kind of thing. I'd rather just It's how you gotta look at it, I guess, if you're into it. I'd rather die crashing than cancer. Sad.
I'd rather die with a smile on my face for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of ways I would rather die than crashing though, because I don't want to die crashing. I want to be able to crash and experience it. I had a dream about that the other night.
There's a very, very small chance you'll die from crashing. It's going to be hitting something or somebody hitting you.
Well, I had a dream. I can't remember. It had to be a couple nights ago. It definitely wasn't last night, but I had a dream that I crashed and I loved it so much that I wanted to keep crashing. Like the sliding out, like was so invigorating that I was like,
yeah, welcome to mini bikes. It's the most fun shit ever when it slides out from under you. You're like, shit.
No, I was on a big bike in my dream. Grab your
gear. We'll put a rope around the hitch on my car and I'll just drag you down the road.
Say just tuck the front wheel. You'll lose that fear real quick. I mean, ever since my first wreck, I don't have a fear of wrecking. I just say, well, if I'm gonna wreck, I'm gonna wreck.
It's a
little liberating.
It's a side effect, unfortunately. Like it's gonna happen. You just
like I know it's gonna happen, and it'll definitely happen this year. Like I just know it will. It'll definitely. But I had a dream that I slid out. It was a low side. I slid out and I kept sliding and sliding and sliding, and I thought it was just so much fun. I wanted to do it again. Yeah. I that wasn't a dream. I just now actually remembered it. Like I have like such vivid dreams, but unless I write it down or text it to somebody right away, like I forget what they are and then they'll pop up in my head later. But anyway, so let's get to what the show's about. So let's talk about movies, documentaries for Motorheads, which includes car guys, motorcycle guys, and girls. I can't say that for anybody who loves motorsports.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of all kinds of things here, but so I had now I will admit a lot of these are road racing and MotoGP oriented because that's where my biggest passion lies. But before I get into all that, because there's a whole lot of those, I must start with the two that I think anybody that rides a motorcycle or even if you don't ride a motorcycle, you should watch it to, just because they're really good and they're very well done. The first one, everyone that rides a motorcycle should watch because this is like where it started, and it's, like it makes me, I wish America was how they used to be with motorcycles now, because like everyone rode motorcycles back in the day. But it's On Any Sunday. It's from 1971. Bruce Brown, which he was a big surfer. He did a bunch of surfing documentaries and stuff as well. But it follows the 1970 AMA, which back in the 70s, the AMA, you had to do road racing, you had to do like the flat track, you had to it was, I think motocross was there was you had to do all of it to get that #1 plate. And America loved racing and motorcycles back in the 70s, and they just I don't know where that where it fell off, I guess, but it's not. I'm glad to see it's coming back a little bit, but it's definitely not what it was.
This is definitely a good movie, to have a drink to and just chill. It's not. I mean, I didn't think it was really fast paced or anything, but it was really informative. And I mean, if you partake, it's a good one to eat an edible to and just zone out and watch it. It was good though. I did like that one.
And lots of just super incredibly influential motorcycle people, and it's got Steve McQueen in it, so
yeah,
he's the king of cool.
It is called On Any Sunday, Adam. On Any Sunday,
and you can find it
not any given Sunday. That's a whole different sport. On Any Sunday, and
you can find it on Amazon Prime. Sometimes it's free, sometimes it's not. You can find it on Tubi. It's always free, but you got to deal with ads. And yeah, definitely worth a watch. It's really good. I mean, it is a little on the slow side at times, but it's old. It's from the 70s, and you can tell it's from the 70s, but they do a pretty good job, and then filming it too, because I've watched like the special edition one, and they like talk about making it. Track
Yeah, this
time
is like the day before like GoPros and stuff,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So like they're and they couldn't track time is important. They didn't have little big cameras to put on the bikes, so all the film, like all the footage from the bikes, was done in practice with like a big like 35-pound camera like mounted on the their shoulders and head and stuff. So it like it just shows you that not only did like like the writers wanted to get this made too, because they're giving up quality practice time to help make this movie a reality, or to have made the movie a reality. So yeah, great movie. I definitely highly recommend it.
All right. So what was the number two?
Good.
Must definitely
So
watch.
other one, like for just anyone that rides a motorcycle or doesn't ride a motorcycle but is maybe interested in it, or just maybe wants to try to understand why we do the things we do, is Why We Ride. So that's a lot newer. That's from 2013.
Yeah.
And that covers all grounds of motorcycling, from people that customize bikes to hill climbs and motocross, and kid racers and adult racers, and
Wait,
just
is that the one with the baby Rocco Landers in it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And Melissa Parrish.
Yeah,
Paris. I always do that. I always do it.
Don't tarnish my woman's name. We can tarnish Rocco, but not. Actually, Rocco's a cool kid. He's just a little privileged. That's all. But Melissa Parrish, don't tarnish her.
There was a girl in high school named Melissa Parrish. I'm gonna do it like for the rest of my life. It's just gonna happen. You can slap me every time I do it.
I just got a ball bust somewhere because I haven't been doing it.
But yeah, great movie. Some really, really like inspirational stories throughout it. Just some amazing people in it. Families, people, everybody. Great movie. It's an enjoyable movie, even if you don't like motorcycles. But
it's
maybe
inspirational.
Like there's some crazy stuff, like some like
like the vet, like the guy who comes back from war, builds a bike, and then he travels around the world.
Yeah, it was in Vietnam. Wasn't happy with what he came back to America with. Joined the army in I think it was Israel. Fought over there, ended up getting blown up. Lost a leg, lost half his hearing. But he got home, and his dad made his bike work for him, and just really, really, really cool movie. Really good, but definitely worth a watch. Whether you or not you are into motorcycles. So with those two out of the way, I'll get into more the ones I really like, and I try to do them in some kind of chronological order, but I get a little scatterbrained sometimes, and so I'll start with the one that the first one that I saw, that actually when I was going to MMI, one of my instructors raced 252 strokes at Daytona, and that we used to have a class in America for that, and it's called Faster. It's from 2003, and it's the 01-02 MotoGP season, which was when MotoGPs were still 502 strokes and just complete monsters. A lot of Rossi. Rossi's a big part in a lot of these ones I'm about to mention. But it was mostly about Rossi and his rivalry with Biaggi. John Hopkins kind of gets introduced into it, which he's an American road racer that could have done really well, but got plagued with injuries his entire career, and now is a coach for American riders in Europe and stuff, and cool dude. Gary McCoy, he's Australian, another really talented rider, but just can't not get hurt every time he gets on a bike. So but these guys all are still in the sport and stuff, and that's really cool. Then it has a sequel called Faster and Faster, which is the following season, which is, 03, 04 season. And 03 is the last year of the two strokes. 04 is when they went. So 03, you could run 1,000cc 4-stroke or a 500cc 2-stroke. So it was kind of like which one's going to win. I won't get in all the nerdy stuff. If you watch it, they go into a lot more, like a slight, like the cliff notes of 2-stroke versus 4-stroke and all that. But 4-strokes ultimately won. That's what they are now. And now I think 2000.
They're not as dangerous.
Well, we'll touch on that.
All I know is like when watching like the old 2-strokes, like there's so many more high sides. There's so many more bad crashes.
They have all kinds of electronics and safety stuff on now too to help prevent that. But we'll touch on the rideability of 2-strokes here with some other ones that I got on my list here. But
can we take a siesta in between movies?
See, a nap. We're taking a nap.
Not a real nap, but like, like a little moment of just like a 5-minute of it's movie related and bike related, but it's something we should, think about.
What?
Are you in between movies right now?
He just finished Faster and Faster.
Yeah.
All right, good. So I think one thing we should think about while we're thinking about all these movies, thinking about what we should watch and all that, outside of like these actual movies about riding or about driving and things like that, there's, somebody that's in our community very close to us. And this goes for any stunt rider or driver. These people are a big part of what makes these movies. Let's not forget that. But back in 2017, one of our close riders in our close community in our area, Joy Harris, had passed away. And I thought it would be a good time to kind of drop that in. Female stunt rider out there riding, racing. She was incredible. But take a moment to think about her. She helped make Hollywood movies cool. We're about movies, doing that thing. It just popped in my head out of nowhere. And I thought it was important. And I know a few of my CCS friends and a few of my coach friends actually kept her very near. I know Charity at Riders Club kept her very dear to her heart. And it was something that kind of rippled through the community back then when she passed. And she passed on the set of like Deadpool, I think it was. I can't remember.
Is this going to be like the theme of you tonight?
I know. I thought about that after I said it, but I find it to be incredibly important to think about these things. Like these people
unfortunately,
are important.
Throughout a lot of this list, there is a lot of people like
that pass away.
There's a lot of death on this list. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's an unfortunate reality of the sport, but yeah, there's a lot of death on this list.
Now, Adam asked, did she die doing a stunt?
Yeah, on Deadpool 2. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's relevant and why it's important. And while like we had said earlier, like we'd rather do something to fulfill our lives as opposed to riddle away and be ill with something. These people are doing something they love to do while entertaining many people. And I find it to be incredibly important to know. It sounds morbid, but you know what? It is what it is. This is the life that we live. This is the risk that we take. And it's so important to note and to think about. These people should be thought about every so often. You know what I mean?
I mean, we are all born to die. It's something that it's the one thing that all of humanity has in common. One day, each of us will die. But I will definitely say Deadpool 2 is an awesome movie, but I would not put it on the Motorhead list.
No, it's not on the Motorhead list.
I know. I had to say, man, I love Ryan Reynolds. I love Deadpool. I mean, he's one of my favorites. But yeah. Even though we mentioned it, it's not the official list.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like one of those things. It's a part of what makes the community. And these are things that you can get into as a rider. You don't have to just ride that track or do this. You could be a stunt rider. You could be a stunt driver. I don't know. It's just a thing. It just should be there. It should be thought of. It should be mentioned. I find it important.
Motorcycles are in a lot of action movies, and most Hollywood actors are too valuable to
not Tom Cruise.
Keanu Reeves and Keanu Reeves are great track riders and drivers. And I'll tell you what, there's a few actors and drivers.
But to do a stunt in a movie, they're too valuable.
Oh, valuable, sure, but they're doing this outside of that.
like, well, yeah, like, I can only imagine, I don't know if Steve McQueen's like, manager and stuff knew the stuff he was doing even back in the 70s, like in
Yeah.
his spare time, like out racing and, all that stuff. But, you know, but that's, but that just shows you how much fun it is that you could lose like contracts and millions of dollars, but you're willing to risk it to go out and have fun in a race car or a racetrack
To
on
go
a
out and do
motorcycle
cool shit.
and just,
Yes.
Well, Frankie Muniz doesn't do any kind of acting anymore because he has like a brain injury of sorts where he doesn't remember shit or something. So like he drives his ass off though, from what I understand. He used to come to NJMP a lot. So, and same thing with I think Keanu's been here too. I don't remember, but that man can ride. And Jay Leno, he rides too. He doesn't care. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna buy a jet bike because that's totally cool. I mean, it's cool.
I've seen a Y2K in person. Like, I don't know, the guy was kind of a douchebag, but the bike was cool.
Yeah, no, I mean it's cool as shit. I mean, anybody who has Y2, money, they're douchebags. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I hear Jay Leno is actually really, really cool. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, like he seems like a really cool dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's got people who take care of like specific types of cars in his garage. You know what I mean? Like there's a person or a fleet of people who takes care of just like the old 1920s, like whatevers. And then there's the guys that just take care of the bikes. It's just like, it's wild, but like his love for just vehicles and bikes in general is just really freaking cool. Like, I don't care. You're a cool dude. I'm with it. It is what it is.
All right, Mike, what's next on your list?
Oh, well, sorry. With Faster and Faster, I said the 03-04 season. 03 season was also Nikki Hayden and Colin Edwards rookie, 03 was Nikki Hayden and Colin Edwards rookie season in MotoGP. So that's another cool thing about it, as well as
Nikki
Troy
Hayden.
Bayless and Marco Melandri. But kick it off with the Americans because and Nikki Hayden was cool, and he's also deceased due to a bike accident in Italy. So there's a lot. Unfortunately,
it wasn't a motorcycle accident.
No, it was a bicycle. Yeah, bicycle.
Exactly.
Accident.
Yeah.
But
clarification important.
Yeah. Training on a bicycle for World Superbike, got hit by a car and killed. But yeah. Now I'm looking over this, and there's I think there might be like one movie or like one documentary on here where like somebody didn't die. Now that I'm like thinking about it.
I mean, nobody cares about motorsports unless you die. So like, I mean,
that is not true. I have not
for
seen
Hollywood,
die.
Hollywood doesn't care unless you die. They don't care about motorsports unless somebody died. Then they're all of a sudden great. Like, get the fuck out of here. Support the sport before they die. How about that?
Yeah. Yes. All right. So then there's a sequel. So Faster and Faster, then Fastest is like a trilogy. These are all narrated by Ewan McGregor as well, who's also a big old petrol head and motorcycle enthusiast. But that's from 2011 for the 09-10 MotoGP season. More stuff on Rossi. It's also it also it talks about Marco Simoncelli and just the up and coming riders who are challenging Rossi, because I think Rossi was looking at like his 10th title at this point or something. I think 2010 was when he got his 100th win. So it's following that, and then just Lorenzo's in a lot. It's a good one. And Ben Spies is in it, and another American, another Texan. So if you watch any of the three or two or all three, they're all really good. I definitely they're about an hour and a half each, I think. You got a Saturday, you got nothing to do, you can find all three of those on Tubi as well, and I think you can buy or rent them on Amazon. Sometimes they're on Prime if you have Prime, but I know for a fact that they are all on Tubi right now. Then the one that kicked it all off for Shannon was The Doctor, the Tornado, and the Kentucky Kid. That's from 2006. And that's the year that Nikki Hayden won the championship. And it goes into the whole, you know, like the whole, like how Nikki Hayden won the championship was like how it happened. Just everything worked in his favor for it to happen. Like there was a lot of stuff going on, but yeah.
All I know is I remember
Give it a
you, like,
watch.
there was one night and you were like, okay, like we should watch this. It's a documentary. And I'm like, I'm not in the mood for documentary. So we watched Ford and Ferrari instead, which was an incredible movie. Like
One of my favorite movies.
It definitely better be on your list somewhere. That's all I gotta say. And so like I was like, yeah, like I'll get to watch it. And then eventually, like I'm sitting at work and I listen to music, or I have like background TV, like where I don't have to watch it. I just listen to it. And so I was like, oh, you know what? Like this is free on Amazon. I'm gonna go watch it. And I turned it on and I found myself just with my head turned and I'm just like staring at my little iPad. Like, how are they doing this? Like, how are they going this fast? How are they not crashing? Like, I think I had never really watched motorcycle racing before, like not like this, not like MotoGP. I was just completely astounded. I was just so mind blown. I was like, I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to do this. I want to figure out like how they don't fall over. Like my mind, like with physics, like gyroscopic physics is something that I did like actually watch a college lecture so I could understand it. But like my mind was just blown. So yeah. So that's definitely one of my top ones for sure.
It's a good one. So obviously I would say all these ones are good, but if any of you guys have watched them,
is that all your movies on the list?
No. Oh God, no. I'm sure he's got so many more. Knowing him, we'll be here till tomorrow.
We're only about halfway, roughly.
Good, I think.
So then we have Hitting the Apex, which is a really great one as well. So I watched this one in the theater in San Antonio when it was released. They did limited theater releases, and it was great. It was an event. Like me and all my motorcycle friends went to go see it, and it was at a theater that served like food and alcohol as well. So that made it even better. But the only thing that drives me crazy about this one is it's narrated by Brad Pitt, and the way he says some things drives me insane. And like, I don't know, it's cool because Brad Pitt's a big name and can people be like, oh, Brad Pitt. Like if you type in Brad Pitt, that can come up and it might trigger someone to watch it that normally wouldn't, and that's cool. But yeah, like
I don't know. I like Brad Pitt's voice, but I will definitely say Ewan McGregor's voice is much better when it comes to watching motorsports.
Yeah, it's more authentic. I feel like, I don't know. That may sound kind of ludicrous and ridiculous, but Ewan McGregor just sounds better narrating motorsports than Brad Pitt. But
I agree.
That it's pretty much the same as the other ones. It's talking about Rossi and his his incredible career, but it also has the dark days of Ducati with Rossi, where so in Rossi's hometown, every time he wins a race, they ring a bell. The 2 years he was on Ducati, that bell never rung. So but it touches a lot on that, and you would a lot. You get a lot deeper dive into like Rossi and his fans and all that kind of crazy stuff. Also has a beautiful tribute to Marco Simoncelli in it, because he got killed on the track, and that was really sad. And they actually have a like jet engine like flame that shoots out for I think it's the 58, his number was 58, I believe. It shoots out for 58 seconds, and it's just really cool, very well done documentary, definitely worth a watch. it talks about Marquez because they're like, talking about all these people that are trying, that have come to race Rossi, and Rossi's just always been successful. And then how no one knew where the next one was going to come from, and they show a picture of like little Mark Marquez, like 3 years old on his first bike in like 93 or something. And, how, I guess, yeah, I don't know. He was super young, and he was 98 because he's still young. But yeah, how no one knew that Rossi's next biggest competitor was, just out of diapers, which just shows you how long Rossi has been riding and racing for.
Yeah, seriously.
Um,
I'm at that
So-
age where things like that make me feel old. So I get it.
yeah, it's
He's not, I mean, as age, he's not really that old, but for racing, for sure.
yeah. I mean, he went 15 years and made every single race, like didn't miss a single race until he broke his leg. But yeah, just completely not. That's why he won so many championships, because he didn't, he was at every single race, and points matter.
Absolutely.
So then I would go with the Unridables and the Unridables 2, which, the touch base on what Shannon was mentioning about the two strokes, is about two strokes and how incredibly unpredictable they were. There were a lot of high sides when you rode them, because two-stroke motors are very peaky, and you have like nothing, 170 horsepower in just like one quick little burst. So, it was very easy to to get hurt on them, and they were very difficult and notorious to ride. They weighed basically nothing and had just crazy amounts of power. And this is before all the, before all the computers telling engineers like about what your suspension is doing and what you're braking, and throttle and anti-wheelie and traction control and launch control, and Ducati's launch system, suck it down to the ground, and aerodynamics and all that other stuff on
It
the
was
bike.
back when things were still raw, when they were
Things
raw
were
dogging out
actually a
there.
bike you had to have skill to ride. Yeah, I know those days.
I
The
mean,
days
you still have to have playing skill to ride a MotoGP bike, especially at or any bike at the level at which those guys are riding. But like when Rossi was starting to fall off towards the end of his career, if you would throw his competitors on a 500 and him on a 500, he would hands down be winning. But I think the last era of two-stroke in MotoGP was, I want to say like 2013 was when they got rid of the 125 class and went to Moto 3. And now, Moto 3, Moto 2, and MotoGP are all four-stroke. But lots of great riders. It's pretty much the era of the 80s and 90s, and that's when Americans were actually winning in MotoGP, as well as other people. But just a great era of racing. If you like racing and you like MotoGP, or you just want to know some history about where it all came from, check out the Unridables and Unridables 2.
Yeah, I was watching somebody else's podcast the other week, and they were I forget who they even had on, but I know he was saying, like, they asked him, like, what era did you enjoy racing the most? And he definitely said the 80s. He was like, the 80s were where it was at.
There were wild times.
I miss that. I was little. Yep.
I was very little.
Ooh,
Bless you. Amanda wasn't even born yet.
when?
She was just being born.
The 80s.
When?
She was born at the very end of it.
I was born in 89, I'll have you know. 6 months into it.
All right.
All right,
So she
so-
definitely doesn't remember the 80s.
No.
So getting out of MotoGP, and we're going to get into some road racing. Like, I've seen some talk about the Northwest 200, Isle of Man, the McCann Grand Prix, all that stuff. So getting into those. Hitting the Apex you can find on Amazon Prime and Tubi. Pretty much all these you can find on Tubi or Amazon Prime. You may have to pay on Prime, but Tubi, they're there and they're free. So
That's with ads.
yeah,
Just with ads. Just with ads.
Those damn ads. So getting into, road racing, like true road racing. I'm gonna start off with one called Road, and it's about Joey Dunlop. And
I was told by Shyler that if you didn't mention that, I had to tell you. That one, and Closer to the Edge. And Shyler was like, they have to say something about that. I was like, I'll make sure, dude. I'll make sure. Shyler's my dude.
So yeah, Road. It's basically about, it's mostly about Joey Dunlop, but just about the Dunlops in general, and just their horrible, they all road race over there, and they've just been struck with horrible bad luck over throughout the years. But Joey Dunlop, he won, I think, Isle of Man 26 times or something like that. And then, his, like, one of his best friends committed suicide. He went to go clear his head. Him and like another friend of his went to Estonia to do a road race, and he ended up, crashing and dying or there during a race. But it's, very well done. It talks to like all his family, his wife, his mom, like just everybody. Really, really good movie. Check it out. If you're into road racing at all, and you haven't seen it, and so if you don't ride motorcycles and you're like, why do these people do this? Watch it and learn why they do it, because it's the Dunlops are like huge into it. This is like their life. So check it out. There's a movie called Charge, which is about the very first e-bike on Isle of Man race. And
yeah, you did make me watch that one too.
Did make you watch that one. So that's from 2009 to 2010.
That one gave me some anxiety, like, because you're like, you didn't know if they were going to get their bikes there, if you didn't know if the bikes were going to show up, you didn't know if the bikes were going to make it or last. Like, yeah, I definitely felt some anxiety during that one.
Yeah, the very first year, or the first 2 years of, they're getting better now, but the very first year, it was interesting. There was a lot like college kids were like entering this race with like their monstrosities that they like just put together in a shed and stuff. But it's really good. If you're into road racing and you haven't seen it, if you're in this whole like craze on electric this and electric that, you should check it out.
I mean, and it's really fun. It's really fun listening to the townies like make fun of them too, like how quiet they are. And, oh, I didn't even hear them coming. Like it's just funny to hear them talk about it.
That would be me if I lived it. I'd be like, ew.
Watching anything that involves the Isle of Man, or the Northwest 200, or the Southeast 100, or Southwest 100, or there's another big one over there. Any road racing, like real road racing, like Irish road racing, like league or class or anything like that, I would recommend subtitles, because there's some thick Cockney accents there.
I'm sure Adam will be fine. Adam can handle it.
Well, yeah, he'll be okay. But
I had no problem understanding them. I think it was just you.
I lived there for 3 years, and when John McGinnis isn't too bad, but when Guy Martin talks, sometimes I'm like, what did you just say? And some of those townies talking, yeah, but it's still really good. I said, there's a lot for a lot for everybody with that one, because you got the electric bikes and that whole fad, and you got
fad. It's electric bikes is a fad.
And you got motorcycle racing, which is good. So this one, I haven't watched all of it. I'm not gonna lie, I just literally found out about it like an hour before the show. It's about 45 minutes long. But if you find this on YouTube, but if you Google The Fastest Road Racing Doctor. It's about this doctor, John Hines, who was anesthesiologist and a urgent care doctor that rode behind the Isle of Man guys for fast response to an accident. Like he wasn't like at the same speeds as them, but he was still booking 160, 170, like, because he still had to ride safe. But
that is so fucking cool.
That is really awesome.
Yo, that is on point. Talk about fast like response service. Like I wouldn't even thought of that. Like I never even knew that was a thing. Now I know, and I think that's awesome.
I literally just found out about this like an hour ago, and I was like, I gotta put this on there. But yeah, Google the Fastest Road Racing Doctor, and it's like the third or fourth thing down. There's a YouTube thing. It's like 45 minutes long. Sadly, he did die in 2015. He was only 35 years old, but they had like a whole team. But he
Did it say how he died?
I said I didn't have time to really look into it enough, but I don't want to assume anything, not knowing, but my guess was probably during the Isle of Man TT, because that's takes out, unfortunately, a lot of people, but I don't know for sure. That's just speculation, not watching it, but you can absolutely guarantee that I will be watching that. Probably not tonight because it's almost 10 and I'm tired and
old.
And my alarm goes off at 5:30.
All right, so of course I just Googled it real fast. Hines was involved in an accident while providing medical coverage at a Skerries 100 practice session. Skerries. Does that sound familiar? I guess it was in Ireland, because he was taken to Beaumont Hospital in Dublin and died of the following day of his injuries. So he died doing that.
So road racing, but yeah, that's probably the Southeast 100 or something, because they're like, that's one of the big ones over there. But yeah, like I said, I will be watching that. I think that's really cool. It's a great idea because that is a very all those races are incredibly dangerous. Like the
Skerries was where William Dunlop died.
Okay, so that's in Estonia.
Okay.
Wait, no, not William. No, Joey Dunlop died in Estonia. William Dunlop, that was an Irish race. I don't know. The Dunlops have had a string of bad luck, in road racing, but it's just a great series of luck as well, because they've won multiple titles across the generations.
I mean, yeah, I'm looking at the Skerries page, and it's like most wins there was Joey Dunlop. Lap record was Michael Dunlop, and then William Dunlop died there. Like they're like the Dunlops are just all over the place.
That's just
anyway.
That's their Irish road racing, British road racing, like that is their thing. They're like extremely dominant, but the idea of having a doctor on the motorcycle, like a fast doctor on the motorcycle, like to be like right there, like after a crash, great idea. Like he had like medical bags hanging from his bike and everything, like just basic stuff to try to keep somebody alive until they can get an ambulance or helicopter or whatever they need to there. So really, really cool. Actually, so when I was living in Texas, a guy crashed in Houston and like got his injuries weren't very severe, but he had underlying conditions that made his injuries severe. And the guy behind him was a doctor and like got off and like, like helped like treat the guy until like, the EMTs and stuff could get there. So doctors on the track, good idea.
All right, Mike. Well, we're coming up on 10 o'clock.
Okay.
We got like 12 minutes.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done.
I know you're passionate about this. I know you love this shit so much, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm just like, I'm just being the mom. I'm being the mom of the group.
Okay. All right. We're getting past all the racing.
You got two women busting your chops. Let's go.
We're going to so Bruce Brown, where it all started on a Sunday. Dana Brown, his son, did one called Dust to Glory, and it's about the Baja 1000. watch it because you will instantly want to do the Baja 1000, and it's really well done. And
It was
Max
awesome.
McCoy does the entire 1000 on a motorcycle by himself, the whole distance, short of his like support team. Just craziness. And there's like a whole, like some women teams, and like it's like wives and daughters of the other guys that race. Really, really awesome. There's a sequel to it too. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure Stan Brown 2 is probably really good. I think it's fairly recent, but check it out. Listen, again, whether you like motorsport or not, it's the Baja 1000. That's a huge part of like
Bro,
motorsport.
I'm going to
American
that next
history.
year. Or this year.
No, not.
Wait, what's the difference?
Not the race that Shiler's doing. Not that one.
Oh, okay.
The
What's
Baja
the difference? I heard
1000.
Baja. My head went.
No, the Baja
I was
1000
like, I'm going to Mexico.
is trophy trucks, dune buggies. They have like a Beetle class where it's like bone stock Beetles, no suspension, no engine modifications, doing the same stuff. 4-wheelers, motorcycles. It's the same entry fee for anybody. It's just like it's about as grassroots as like as motorsport can get, where you got the guy with like the $10,000 like Beetle, or I mean like $5,000 Beetle, and like the
The guys with the six figures,
6-figure
big
like
old
trophy
trucks.
So check it out. Really, really, really good. And it's the son of Bruce Brown, who like kicked off this whole like
Okay. Next one.
Right. Next one. Senna, which is about Anton Senna, who's a Formula One driver who crashed and was killed in 94, 93, 94. But it's just about his life and his start, and it's really, really good. Check it out.
Wait, I'm pausing you for 5 seconds. Shush it for 5 seconds. This long ass ridiculous name is my friend Dre, and I'm gonna take all the credit for getting him into Blue Group. By the way, he's one of my closest friends, and I just wanted to be a dick and say something. I just realized he commented. Carry on.
So that's it for documentaries. I know I probably missed some. Like I was kind of slapdashing together.
I got a few you missed, by the way.
All right, well, let's hear the rest of the list, and then
I was gonna say, never mind. I don't have documentaries on here. I had the same one Skylar did.
Okay, so Hollywood movies that I recommend everybody watch because they're really, really good, and they're and they're motor sport based, is The World's Fastest Indian.
Yes, it's my favorite. I love that movie. It makes me cry every time.
I have not watched the entire movie yet. I've like seen segments. I have not watched the entire movie.
Watched the whole movie of The World's Fastest Indian. How could you stop watching that beautiful old man?
Listen, life happens. Life happens, sweetie. Life happens.
It's one of the most beautiful. Ford versus Ferrari and The World's Fastest Indian always make me cry. I love them.
Look, you said this beautiful old man. Let's not forget he was a pervert who just like randomly had sex with like every woman they came across.
That sounds like a lot of
I don't know that part. I only know the Hollywood movie, and that's all I care about.
That's what they depict in the Hollywood movie.
Did he? Well, that part. That's not the part that I care about.
He thought the dude that he thought Tina at the motel was a real woman and was hitting on her until he realized that she was a he. The old lady.
He was just living his old man life. He's just living out the last of his days.
I don't blame him. He lived a great life. Awesome story. Still holds the record in that class, and that's from the 60s or 70s.
Okay. So World's Fastest Indian. What's the next one?
Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, yes, I agree with that one.
Watch it. It's awesome.
It's the greatest. Ken Miles. Awesome. That's my man.
10 miles.
All right, are you done?
We got one more. I got one more. Rush, which is about Niki Lauda and I'm having a brain fart because you guys are rushing me and I didn't write my notes down very well.
It's okay. I don't know if I would put that on the top. It was good to watch, but I can't say
no, because it's based on a true story and it was Ron Howard directed it, so it has to be good. And it is really good, and it's
yeah, Dre just said this list better not include biker boys. I was gonna say
No.
biker boys at the end to be a
No,
smart ass.
he said yes. He said it better include it, and I was like, no,
Dre,
I was like, oh
knock
dear
that
God, it better
silly
not.
shit off.
No, this
Better
list,
not.
this
Oh,
list,
he did say it better
this
not.
list
Okay.
better not
Yeah.
include biker
Okay.
boys.
Okay. I got that wrong. I
It
did not read
didn't,
the word
It
wrong.
won't. It never would.
Out of
Ever.
here. That biker boys bullshit.
So that's all you got on your list, Mike?
That's it. That's
Okay,
it.
I got plenty. So I'm gonna rush through because I'm good at that. So you hit all the ones
Are
that
you?
I like, all the
Are you?
documentaries.
I feel like you
'cause
definitely
I don't
talk more
feel
than
like
Mike.
talking today. Yeah, no, I'm good. So here are some haha funny movies that should have been on your list, and they don't include Fast and the Furious either because I hate all of those movies. Baby Driver, which is one of my favorite freaking movies.
Oh,
How do you
yeah.
not love
is a
that
great
boy
one.
driving a little
And a
STI?
great soundtrack. That's a
Yes.
good one.
Excellent soundtrack, excellent little boy, love it. I mean, he's an adult, but he's cute and young. Talladega Nights, why that wasn't on there? Hilarious, shake and bake, dude.
I'll give you that one.
Yes,
I
of
won't.
course you will.
I won't. I will definitely.
What? It's hilarious, and it hits every funny mark in racing in general. I don't even like NASCAR,
No,
but it's funny.
Not every funny market hits every NASCAR stereotype.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly. There's actually another movie. I can't remember the name of it, but I don't, like I said, I don't like NASCAR, but it tells you that it starts with the history of NASCAR back with dirt racing. Yeah. I can't remember what it's called. It's a good movie though.
So Mike N, I was gonna say Easy Rider. I was gonna put that on the list.
Yeah.
No,
why did you not put that one? No, I mean, but that's like the classic.
Because it's like the most depressing ending to a movie ever, maybe short of The Mist by Stephen King.
Anyway, my last one is, if you haven't watched every Cars movie ever, there's something wrong with you. I don't even like Disney movies, but I love all the Cars movies. And my friend Norris has a Lightning McQueen Miata. It's the cutest thing ever. And that thing takes a beating. It's gone through an accident. He's rebuilt it. It's been through it. He goes through like 3 lips a month on the freaking bumper because it's so low. It's a fun car. But yeah, everybody should watch every Cars movie ever. I don't care what you say. It's great. It's a part of it.
The Cars movies are really good. I like them.
Yeah, and they have so many little jokes within that. Like, if you're into racing, you know them.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
All right. So was that it?
That's all I could remember. Yeah. Oh, and then a couple of podcasts like Donate Media. If you're not watching Donate Media, like, what are you even doing? And they also have that's the YouTube channel, but they also have the Past Gas.
Oh yeah, no, we're not doing podcasts, we're not doing TV shows, we're not doing series, because that's a whole nother list, because there's definitely series and stuff that I would.
Past Gas matters because it's the history of like racing. That's what they go through.
But it's not a movie. It's not a movie.
No, but it's way more important than a movie.
Or a documentary.
I know I left shows off because
like this can definitely not include shows and podcasts, just because that's a whole other ballpark.
It doesn't matter. It's already been said.
All right, so let me see if I can recap this. Okay, so we have on any Sunday, not any given Sunday, because that's a football movie. On any Sunday, Why We Ride, Faster, Faster and Faster, Fastest, The Doctor, the Tornado, and the Kentucky Kid, Hitting the Apex, Unridables and Unridables 2, Road. Amanda also brought up Closer to the Edge.
Sorry,
Hold on.
Okay.
Charge, The Fastest Road Racing Doctor, which is, you can find it on YouTube. Dust to Glory, Cena, World's Fastest India, Ford versus Ferrari, and Rush. Did I get them all from you, Mike?
Yes, but wait, I did miss 3 honorable mentions. I know I said I didn't put shows on here, but I absolutely did, and I bypassed it because of everything else. Okay. But Ewan McGregor, Long Way Round, Long Way Down, Long Way Up.
It's the only reason I didn't mention them, because that's a show. It's not a movie. But okay. So if we're gonna, okay. All right. So Amanda threw shit in. You're throwing shit in. Okay.
They are absolutely crucial to motorsport, because there would not be dual sports in the sense that we know them today if it wouldn't have been for Long Way Round, because Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borden, like, they made everybody be like, I want to hop on a bike that can do anything, and I just want to go out and like just do something crazy, like ride around the world, even though I can't, but I'm gonna go ride on dirt trails with my friends, and we're just gonna get lost in the woods. And like it completely changed the face of like motorsport of what people wanted to do. And so yeah, like there would like the dual sports would still be, little, like dirt bikes, like single cylinder dirt bikes, maybe or the Honda XR, XR or XR 650L and stuff like that. But you just single cylinder, like can do a lot of things, but still mostly a dirt bike. If it went in for a long way around, the Triumph Tigers and Ducati Multistradas and the Harley ugly thing that they have, and just like all those bikes wouldn't exist if it wouldn't have been BMW and KTM had them, but no one else would have them because no one else was interested in them until that happened.
All right. Is that it then?
Done.
All right. And then Amanda made sure we added Baby Driver, which is a
Yes.
freaking awesome movie. Talladega Nights.
Maybe you
Talladega
should
Nights.
drink during these.
Right?
I should totally. And then all the Cars movies. Of course, Adam disagrees. He says Cars 2 is a terrible movie.
Oh,
But
first
now
of all,
I'm
Adam,
saying
that's
like
the only thing he's ever said that I don't like.
and I have to say
Adam.
like if we
I've got a theory why he probably thinks like the bad one.
But wait, like I just have to say, like if we're throwing in the honorable mentions that are not movies and documentaries, like I feel like we need to throw in some of the Grand Tour motorcycle episodes too. Like, was it Vietnam and stuff? Like
Vietnam was a good one.
Didn't like Mozambique or something? Or
when they did the fish, he had the fish hanging from the back
yes,
of his bike and
yes.
kept falling over. And there was a Top Gear episode back in the day that had Ricky Carmichael, and segue back to the beginning of the show, Ken Block in it as well. So like James May is riding in the car with Ken Block, and Ricky Carmichael comes in on the dirt bike, and they, are like blasting through the desert doing jumps and crazy stuff like that. But I have a theory why Adam doesn't like the second Cars movie.
Okay, why?
Because it villainizes the British guy. Because the British guy's a villain, and British guys
I had a feeling it was
are
something
literally
along those
always
lines.
villains.
Haha, Adam, he caught you. We still
Which is
love
funny.
you.
I don't even remember the Cars 2 movie. I don't even know if I had a
Oh,
kid. who
Gran
maybe watched it.
Torino, but it's not really a
And-
race movie.
No, I
Gran
left.
Torino, but
I
it's a good
left a
car
lot-
movie.
But I did leave a lot of movies out, like a lot of the older ones. Like I said, there's a Great Escape on there. I didn't put Le Mans on here, which or 24-hour Le Mans. I think it's just Le Mans, which is a Steve McQueen movie. So there's French Connections on there. The original Italian Job. Like there's so I know I missed a ton of like
There's
Hollywood
a
movies.
Steve McQueen documentary too. I think you missed.
Well, I mean, there are like a ton of Hollywood movies, but I wouldn't say they make like the
documentary.
top. I mean, yeah, like so you got to think like
Ooh,
you have-
Hannibal Run. Yes, the Ferrari jumping the puddle or jumping the.
Yeah.
Mike N, like Ride with Norman Reedus. I could not make it through those shows. They were not nearly as good as like the Long Way shows at all. I'm just saying, like I love Norman Reedus, but I don't know. I just wasn't impressed with that series personally. But that was before I got into motorcycles. I watched it, so maybe I would watch it with a whole new
and
appreciation.
Bullet. Yes, Bullet. Like anything with Steve McQueen. Watch
Of course.
anything with
Steve
Steve McQueen. Watch it.
All right. So before anything else, let's end this show. Alrighty, let's
Okay,
do it.
okay.
All right.
Wow,
So
it's
everybody,
like- Oh,
10:03.
Smokey the Bandit?
Ooh,
Smart.
yeah.
I said before anybody else said anything
Well,
else.
Well, it's too late.
Underground. What the hell is
it's
Six
already been done.
Underground?
I don't know. Isn't that like words to a song? Take me down.
Oh, the Shirley
Six
Muldowney movie.
Underground.
If you guys aren't watching that, what are you even doing?
What movie? Huh? What? Who?
Do you know who Shirley Muldowney is?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh.
Do I?
Okay. Anyway, so she's the first female.
Oh, Six Underground has
Right,
Ryan Reynolds
sir.
in it. That's who it is. That's a newer movie, very new. But I wouldn't. It's not like one of the top. It's not
What
one
are you
of the
talking
top.
about? I'm talking about Heart Like a Wheel from 1983. Shirley Muldowney?
No, I'm talking about like Six Underground is a newer movie. It has Ryan Reynolds in it, but I wouldn't say it's a car movie. I mean, it does have car scenes, but that's like saying all the Fast and the Furious movies, which we're not including in something like this at all. Or
I mean, if you're in the car community, you
what
have
were
to
the
watch
Jason
Fast and
Statham
Furious.
movies? What were the
Look,
Jason
the
Statham movies? The Transporter. Like, I mean, like those were great movies too. They had some cool cars, but
the first Fast and Furious was a car movie.
Mike's not wrong. You're right. I don't like them because of the geekiness or the shittiness of it. But like Fast and Furious, you have to watch it if you're a part of the car community.
no, I mean, I love those movies, but I wouldn't add them to
they're
a top
terrible.
must-watch list.
If you drink for every continuity error in the very first,
well, you'll just be shit faced.
I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, this show was about the top must-watch movies for Motorheads. Okay,
yeah,
not just naming every single movie that has a car or a motorcycle in it.
It's like you. Even if you ride, you have to watch Biker Boys at least once, even though it's fucking terrible.
No, I will never ever watch that movie again.
What's fucking
like it's attached to triggers and toxicity in my past
I don't agree
life.
with any of that.
So
and
I will not.
Why.
No, I mean, I watched an ex made me watch it, so I will never watch it again. So therefore, I will need
my ex-husband made me watch it too, and it was fucking terrible. And he thought it was the best movie ever. And I watched it with him, and then got to know what riding really was. And I was like, that guy's dumb. There
was another old movie with like biker gangs in it. Oh shit.
I wouldn't really call that biker gangs, by the way. It's
I'm thinking there was another movie. It was like an older movie too, from like the 80s, or I don't know, like from the 80s. But anyway, we're not going to worry about it because it's the end of our show. We are going to end this.
Oh, wait. I have to for Adam, because he said that Fast and Furious 2 is a good movie. To end this, I want.
Wait, which one was that?
Ejectocito, cuz.
Oh yeah. Okay, listen. How could he be wrong?
I love all the Fast and the Furious movies, man. Like, come on, like
they're fucking terrible, but
they're Hollywood and they're made for entertainment. Okay, like they are made.
Yeah, but you still like it's a part of it's a community thing.
Like it's like you have.
Yo, somebody said Cha-Cha Muldowney. You know. See, these people know what real racing is and what real racing history is. Shirley Muldowney, other than Henry Rollins, is my very first mentor and hero ever in my life. And I followed her from when I was like 3 years old up.
All right. So I gotta like Shirley who? What?
How do you not know who Shirley Muldowney is? That blows my mind when nobody knows who
I don't know. Like, let me what spell the last name, Amanda?
Muldowney is Muldowney.
I got her.
She is one of the most phenomenal females in racing. Period.
Well,
she paves the way for women.
Remember, I did not grow up on racing.
That's okay. That's fine. I'm teaching you right now. She is the paver for women in racing. And I know it's drag racing. I grew up on drag
and
racing.
Obviously she did a great job because there's so many women in racing.
There isn't. Are you kidding me? There are shitloads of women in drag racing. There are more.
And maybe in drag racing, but that's not like
the drag racing.
I have still not watched the drag race.
Those are your
ever.
2 top racings in
what
in the United States.
What percentage are women in NASCAR?
Okay, I don't even know because I don't watch that shit. But there's women in NASCAR. However, NASCAR and NHRA are your 2 top.
This is the problem, though.
Seabiscuit on here. That's about racing.
Let's
go there.
No, but this is the problem. You know, like. There's not enough women in motorsports. There's not.
That's their own fault.
And it's one of those.
It's their own fault.
Yeah, it's one of those places where there can be equality.
And top racers, Ashley Forrest.
There's not boys sports and girls sports. This isn't like basketball and other shit. Like the playing field is completely even. You know, but yet women do not get into sport because they fear death more than men do.
No, that's not why. It's because they're not taught and they feel as if they're inferior to men when it comes to racing. And they feel like it's harder to get into the sport. I teach women to ride.
It is completely psychological. The reason why there are not more women in the sports.
No, that's just why they don't go fast.
Death.
It's not why they don't get into it. It's why they don't go fast. The reason why they don't get into it is because they feel inferior to guys, and guys aren't always inclusive. That's a new thing. So one of the top quotes from Shirley Muldowney was she was being interviewed by a dude at the end of one of her races or whatever. And he's like, what's a woman like you doing in a place like this? And her answer was as simple as just winning. And that was it. That's all she had to say. Because she was winning. Women have better reaction times. Women are naturally better riders on a bike because we have lower body strength and movement. Like it has everything to do with psychological, not because of death. And it's because
Adam says you need to like not talk so loud.
Adam can kiss my ass. I'm having a moment right now. Women are their own problem when it comes to racing. Stop living with societal norms
It's not about societal norms. It is about a fear of death. See, women are programmed to have children. They're programmed to raise those children. They're programmed to be a home and a sanctuary for
That's
those.
Funny because I wasn't programmed with any of that. I do not.
Oh, you are.
Or
like I had a whole conversation with my daughter today, like about like how I want her to have at least one kid because there's so many things when you pop out a baby, like there are so many things that just come so natural. Like the human species, like it's amazing what kind of things are automatic. Like you automatically, like you pop out this baby, you don't know what you're going to do with it, and then all of a sudden like you know what to do with it. Like it's crazy how automatic it is. And it's the same thing with women. Like they fear
Adam just
death.
said Amanda gets serious when the blanket comes on.
Oh, you know when Amanda gets serious, you can hear it in her tone of voice. Like she was like sleeping half this show. Like she just woke up. Like, oh my God.
Racing is everything. It's always been everything to me. And I don't care if it's car, bike. I don't care if you're racing a damn horse like Seabiscuit, like I said earlier. Like it's everything to me. So like I said, women are their own issue when it comes to racing, but societal norms affect that. I don't ever feel maternal or like I don't feel feminine in any way. And it's not because of any of that. That has nothing to do with it. Death, that has nothing to do with it. Women don't, like you said, everybody's gonna fucking die. Nobody gives a shit about that. The reason why they're not fast is because
unfortunately most people do give a shit about that. Like some of us
crazy.
don't. Of us don't, but most people do. Like I made a comment, like somebody said that like the NFL football player falling on the field was scary, and I'm like, how is that scary? Like 9/11 was scary. The Pulse nightclub was scary.
Sure.
Like like school shootings, they're scary. A football player falling on a football field, like it's a high impact sport. Like we know people get injured. We know like veteran players have brain issues. Like
it's a risk you
take when somebody falls because that's football. It's expected, like something is bound to happen eventually.
I don't know what you're talking about, but like
people got on me so hard about how I wasn't empathetic. And I'm like, no, I just asked a question. Like, how is that scary? Like, how's it scary? Like it's football. How is somebody collapsing on a field scary? It's not scary.
Yeah. It's
like,
sad.
How is it scary?
It's not
sad.
scary.
Yeah. It's sad.
I don't know.
It's concerning. It brings up feelings, but it's not scary.
I have little empathy for all of that. Honestly, like I just don't care about any of it. It's a risk you take no matter what sport you play or ride or do. Like I don't have any empathy. I take a risk every day. I take a risk that I might hit somebody and take out the provider for a family of 6. Okay. I understand that. And I also understand that somebody could take me out, a single mother of a special needs child and a 13-year-old girl. Like it's just the risk we take. I have no empathy. Like it's a part of it. We just do our best not to do it.
I think most people just fear the reality, and the reality is that our lives are fragile. I think that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, if we keep living in fear, we're not going to do shit with our lives, and it's going to be miserable.
But yeah, I think, women just aren't in the sport because they don't.
There's so many women in the sport and it's
still a male dominated.
It's still male dominated.
It's very male dominated.
Everything's male dominated because men.
No, it's definitely not, because women are pushing men down left and right on everything. You
just told me that they're not. You literally just told me that.
I know. I said in motorsports. The percentage of
There's
men
more women in motorsports than
I'm talking about in the world. Like we're looking at everything with this whole Me Too movement. We are not allowing men to be men anymore. We are taking away their freedom to be men. We're taking their balls and we're making them push them back up inside of them. We're not letting them be them.
I don't think Adam's up to date.
Adam, Amanda's getting all the ice cream right now. She's staying with the same flavor and she's very happy right now. That's just why she's partially so quiet on her social media. But anyway, let's go and end this show before we get in any more trouble. I feel like we might have some really good shorts to put out from this show.
There's definitely some. I was watching. I stay here. I saw it, man. There's definitely some shorts on Amanda totally went down Rant Avenue there for a while.
Yeah, because
know. I'm
women in
gonna love it.
motorsports is important to me. And now I'm a gremlin. Adam turned me into a gremlin.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, all right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being in chat. Thank you so much for watching, whether you're watching live or on the replay. We appreciate you. Be sure to hit subscribe and the like button and tell your friends about how crazy Amanda is and how they need to come watch her.
Yamaha doesn't suck.
All right. Well, we are here Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We will be forming a new channel. And once we finally launch it, we will let you know. But until then, have a happy and safe 2023. Go do something new, something exciting. Get out from behind your computer screen and like do something scary, because that's really what life's all about, right?
Go pretend to die. It'll be fun.
Don't pretend to die.
I mean, go do something that's risky life. Is what I mean. That's what I really meant.
Live life. Don't,
fuck the consequences. Have fun.
Yeah.
Only do shit that makes you smile. If it doesn't put a smile on your face, don't do it. Except for go to work because you need to pay your bills.
Hey, listen. Would do the Ken Miles. Would you rather be riddled with cancer and let it eat you alive, or do something speedy? I agree with Ken Miles.
Yeah.
I just rather do things that make me smile regardless of the speed. But I do like the speed. Falling to the earth. You're going 120 miles an hour. That's pretty good. But anyway, all right, guys. Stay fast and weird. TikTok and Instagram. Twisty Rider. TikTok and Instagram. Me, Odious, so everywhere. Just Google me. You'll find me. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good one and good night.